Radiant, activate. Just kidding. Welcome to the Radiant Black podcast. This is another episode, the fourth episode, I think, of Radiant Roster. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten to using the bath bomb yet. I'm pretty sure I was gonna find a Radiant inside, but we'll have to wait and see. It's still shipping.
How many baths have you taken since you got it, though? Have you made the decision to take a bath without it, or just no baths?
No,
This is the question.
I'm gonna wait for a sign from the cosmos. Like whether it starts glowing or something.
Shooting
like,
star or something at
the
the window?
Goblet of Fire style, when Harry's in the bathroom with the egg. But
Yeah.
no, welcome back everyone to the Radiant Black podcast. I'm joined today by my friends Matt and Ali, and we're gonna be doing the fourth episode of Radiant Roster. Radiant Roster is basically like a little partner, like a different
It's a side
segment
show.
on our show. Yeah, it's a side show where we talk about other comic books, pop culture, TV shows, whatever have you. And we also sometimes just talk about brief Reading Black news. It's sometimes, wow, I just said sometimes so many times. There are times when there's a big gap between Radiant Black issues, and it's very rare. And this time, I think the last issue was December 22nd, and we're getting the next one on February 9th. So
2 days.
yeah, 2 days. So we decided to fill that gap with, some interesting discussion of other pop culture things. How have you guys been doing?
Great. We're the Radiant Raw Stars, take a page out of Space Jam's book. I'm excited to be here. Didn't know we were doing this podcast 2 minutes ago. I actually bought a black market Radiant Bath Bomb that I was just about to submerge into a wasted bath before I was called into action here. But yeah, let's talk about the miscellaneous comic goings on, because it's not only been a lot going on in the Radiant Black universe, but there's been some really cool comic stuff and pop culture and TV stuff to talk about. So I'm down for it.
Yeah,
Definitely. I've been doing good. You gotta let me know how that bath bomb is, though. I still haven't used mine.
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I'm honestly like scared to use it because
Me too.
it's so shiny and cool, and the
It's
shape is
it's
so
very
aesthetic.
fragrant too, by the way.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
very fragrant.
Yeah, so I'll just leave it in my room and smell radiant. And then when everyone comes into my room and asks me what's that smell, I'm gonna say Radiant Black, baby.
Yeah.
Anyway, but so speaking of Radiant Black, there's been a lot of Radiant Black news, and unfortunately, by the time this episode goes live, which could be tonight, could be tomorrow, most likely tomorrow, we're gonna be past FOC. But the last FOC we just passed was for Rogue Sun and Radiant Red #1. Obviously, everyone who listens to this podcast is well aware at this point of what Rogue Sun and Radiant Red are. But if you're not, so Radiant Red #1 is a spin-off miniseries with focusing on Satomi. It's 5-issue miniseries being written by Cherish Chen with art by David LaFuente, and I believe Mikel Muerto is still doing the colors, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, same team that he brought you Radiant Black issue #6, and I was pretty pumped. We had some. We had some speculation as to whether that was going to be a reality in the earlier episodes of the podcast, and I was pretty happy myself to see that. What do you guys think?
Yeah, no, it's definitely exciting. I liked issue 6. I like getting to know each of the Radiants a little bit more. And Satomi so far has been, I guess, the most interesting one, other than Nathan or Marshall, just because of her whole situation. So it's nice to get some more into it or have some kind of conclusion to it.
Yeah, a lot's happened already in the Radiant Black and like the 11 issues proper that we've seen so far, and it's cool to see different perspectives and more world building in an already pretty grand world. I would say it's fleshed out, but I mean, we know more about a lot of the characters than others, but it's a big universe now that we're already enveloped in. So it's the more in that universe we get, the better. And Kyle really seems big on Cherish, and I like what they pulled off in issue 6. So I'm all for it, and I'm looking forward to reading it next month.
Yeah, and speaking of, Rogue Sun by Ryan Parrott and Abel, that's created, and I believe Chris O'Halloran's doing colors, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to double check that. But yeah, I'm very excited for Rogue Sun. We talked about this earlier on the previous episodes about whether we thought there was going to be a trailer for Rogue Sun, and I think most of us thought most likely. And man, did you see that trailer? That was awesome. Like really,
That was so
yeah,
cool.
yeah. So yeah, Matt, have you seen the Rogue Sun trailer?
I didn't. I'm aware of it, and I'm sure a lot of people put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in it. Did we get Crisis Couture, another band, to make a theme song for it?
No, unfortunately, there is no theme song, but there are some amazing video graphics by Alex Siegel, and I believe I want to know if he's, if this guy is like who they named the main character after, because Dylan Siegel, Alex Siegel, I don't know, they have the literal same last name. Cool. And I can't remember who did the voiceover, but there was a really cool voiceover in the trailer. Kind of reminded me of like an Optimus Prime kind of vibe. I believe it was a sort of father rogue son passing down the mantle, Marcus passing down the mantle to Dylan kind of way. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like he's giving him the legacy speech.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't see it, but with me in trailers and stuff, if I know I'm going to read it or watch it, I'll usually leave the trailers by the wayside. I mean, Radiant Black, of course, like it's cool to know it for this, and I will go and watch the trailer, but yeah, no, I'm sure it's amazing. But yeah, sometimes I just don't watch trailers for stuff that I'm already locked in. It's like, no, 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 you already have my money. Don't waste any more money on advertisement. You got my money, just focus more on production and stuff. But I'm sure it wasn't wasted if it's as awesome as you guys say it is.
No, I feel you. Sometimes you just want to experience it firsthand. I get it.
Yeah, and speaking of Ryan Parrott, I just want to say congratulations to Ryan. We recently had him on the podcast, but obviously that's not why I'm congratulating him. I'm congratulating him because Dead Day got optioned, and he said this isn't just, one of those like option that's is this gonna ever happen? This is like straight to pilot kind of option. So congratulations, Ryan Parrott. I just ordered my first copy. I checked out the synopsis of the book. I hadn't heard of it before. You tweeted about it recently, and my God, it sounds awesome. I can't wait to read it. And yeah, just awesome news. Sounds like it's gonna be a cool show. Have you guys heard about Dead Day?
No, but I'll parrot what you said in saying that. Yeah, I didn't make that pun the whole time we was on the podcast, and hopefully listening. I'm sorry, but if I, that's who I am. I wouldn't be me if I didn't. But yeah, no, it sounds really cool. It's really awesome how comics are basically just modern day like scripts to auction off as pilots. It's cool, and that you can still see two different versions of a product in whether it's TV or movie, or a little bit more freedom in the comic book form. So it's really cool just to see how important comic books are like the lifeblood of the entertainment industry right now in a lot of ways. You look at what you see in Boba Fett and all that stuff. Even then, they're like taking all the streams lead down into this well, and I think it's really cool to see that.
Yeah, I mean, Dead Day, sorry, I just want to correct myself, straight to series order, so hopefully a whole season, if anything. And yeah, it's about, according to Deadline here, the summary, it's about Dead Day follows an ensemble of characters as they navigate the annual Dead Day, when for one night the dead come back to complete unfinished business, be that to celebrate a night back on Earth or to torment the living. Once I read that synopsis, I thought that was really cool. That's like initially what piqued my interest. So I can't wait for my copy to come in, and then at the trade paperback and the first issue, obviously. And
cool concept. I like that.
Yeah, great concept. Yeah. And moving on to other news, we've got some awesome Radiant Black news. First of all, I want to shout out Ritesh Babu for writing this fantastic article on Polygon called "The Radiant Black Universe is Taking Shape, and Now's the Time to Get In: A Guide to Image Comics' Nascent Superhero Sci-Fi Saga." So not only is this a fantastic article outlining the development of Radiant Blacks as a superhero comic book and image and a universe, but it also gives us a brief introduction for those who are unfamiliar with the property to the current Radiants, or the team with Radiant Red, Pink, Black, Yellow. And it also gives us a peek into the upcoming characters who we're going to get to know in Supermassive and future Radiant Black issues. And this includes Inferno Girl Red, Rogue Sun, other what we're calling Radiant Rogues, which I think is a brilliant name. Excel, we've got Doppler, we've got Mecha, we've got Sheer, who by the way is amazing. That Radiant Black number 14 cover A by Marcelo Costa homaging Incredible Hulk McFarlane cover is just beautiful with Sheer on it. Oh my God, sweetness. Yeah, just Italian pinching fingers kind of sweetness. And
Chef's
and
kiss.
Yeah, exactly, chef's kiss. And
Like Bash's description of it better than that.
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, that cover obviously stands out immediately. That immediately is one of the big ones that I'll be remembering in the sea of great Radiant Black comics. You do think of that awesome Hulk cover, so obviously a fantastic homage.
Yeah, exactly. And so not only is that awesome, but we're getting Shift, we're getting all these awesome characters. And one thing that makes me especially happy, because this is another thing, and you're gonna hear me. Honestly, we could make a drinking game out of how many times you're gonna hear me say, "Oh, that's another thing we talked about on the podcast." But this is another thing we talked about on the podcast, and it's Kyle Higgins, Daniele Duniculo, and Walter Bayamonte reunite for Shift. So it says here, a fantastic article from the folks over at FN Cool, that Kyle Higgins and Daniel Duniculo, who both left the Power Rangers brand after Shattered Grid, are going to be reuniting for a story about Shift, the new the new character in the Radiant Black universe, and we saw that this is going to come in the new celebration of Image Comics' 30th anniversary. And the most amazing thing about that reveal was that the first issue of the Image Comics celebration, which I believe is called, is just called like Image exclamation mark?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Image 30.
Yeah, so Image exclamation mark, you gotta exclaim the exclamation mark, is it's a 12 issue series apparently with different stories from different creators of Image Comics and different series.
Kirkman, I hope that's what you're saving Science Dog for. Please,
Man,
Jesus.
people are saying, like, I don't know if you guys have heard the latest episode of the Invincible podcast, aka Circle of Nine News. Shout out Invincible podcast, you guys are awesome. They talked about, they were speculating about whether we were going to get a Marquee and like an Invincible story at all in the because Kirkman, and so it's just like, and Cory Walker. So I was like, okay, like we'll see. I've gotten my hopes up several times now, but I don't know. There was some interesting conversation on that episode, so. Yeah, it would be pretty sweet to get.
That would be nice.
Yeah, like Invincible and Radiant Black, take my money. Take all my money.
Oblivion Song has the tools to do the ultimate Image crossover. And I'm just saying, I'm not looking for writers, or I'm not going to sue anybody if they use that. But holy shit, like, come on. It's right there to do something amazing. And either way, even if they don't use my stupid ideas, like, they got something good cooking. Like, maybe Skybound X was just, a taste of what we could see in this, when it's not just Kirkman stuff and the Skybound stuff, but all the Image people. And was that Radiant Black on cover A of that?
Yeah, Radiant Black on cover A, yeah. And he's reading
Youngblood. A.
He's sitting on the Image logo reading Youngblood, and I believe this is a homage to a Spider-Man issue. I'm not entirely sure who the artist for that Spider-Man issue was of the cover that the Image #1 is homaging, but the comparisons have been made. You can Google it. Anyway,
that shows some faith in our boy, Radiant Black, at that point, if he's on the cover.
That's what I'm saying. It's like a lot of faith from Image, and at the same time, that's awesome. Like, Radiant Black's awesome. I hope more people get into this series. We've talked about how fantastic everything has been, and it's the beginning of Radiant Black. This is literally, year one has just come to an end, right? Like, I mean, February 11th, that's going to be February 10th, sorry, that's going to be the first year anniversary of Radiant Black. So much has happened since then. And I'm looking forward to the future. This is just awesome. And I know a lot of Image Comics fans are very excited for this.
There's a lot to be excited about, and I can't wait to see it. Who knows what we're going to see? I'm excited.
Yeah, speaking of Image
Comics, are going to be great.
Yeah, no, it's totally fine. There's a Screen Rant article released today by Liam McGuire, which is saying that Firepower is getting its first ever connecting covers by Kim Young-gi. And this just looks awesome. Yeah, oh my God. Have you seen? They look amazing. So and not only are we getting those, but it says in this article that the variant covers will help kick off a brand new arc of Firepower, which will also feature additional variants from David Finch and Dave Mackay, and a variant from Bone creator Jeff Smith. I mean, come on, it doesn't get better than that. It's a star-studded lineup right there.
Firepower, we definitely did get boned as far as the creators go here. That's sweet.
I hope they release the whole Image as a poster. This would make a pretty dope poster.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, I love it. I love it so much. I love that they're bringing in more Asian artists to do more variants for Firepower, because, man, the variants are amazing. And this is definitely one where I'm going to be picking up every single connecting cover. Like, it's not even up for contention at this point. Firepower on hiatus. This is a series we've talked about on previous episodes of Radiant Roster. If you haven't gotten on this series, now is the perfect time. It's on a break until May, so you've got plenty of time to check it out.
I thought it was April too.
Yeah, April 6th.
I think it says here that it's May. Let's see.
Yeah, in the Screen Rant article.
April 6th.
Released April 6th. Yep. Yeah, you have at least 2 months to catch up.
Yep, April 6th. But I am just going to say, and maybe this is unrelated because this is Somni and that's Lorenzo Di Felice and a different creative team, but a lot of Oblivion Song 35 to 36 has gotten delayed so many times, at least four times already. So if we're going off the schedule of Oblivion Song, and just Radiant Black, for example, which has gotten delayed several times, like Supermassive's been delayed, Rogue Sun's been delayed, the whole schedule has been delayed. And of course, this isn't no blame here. These are just the circumstances with COVID. So what we're trying to say is all release dates are TBD, like if we're being completely honest, because everything is subject to change.
Well, in these uncertain times. No, but beyond that, it's cool with all these indie delays. Like it sucks, but I mean, there's so many other stuff that's coming back from delays, like Saga, which I haven't started yet. Bash, I
Oh
know
yeah.
you and Mara are
I
doing the
picked up 55. I haven't read it yet, but I picked it up. I'm hearing everyone raving about it, so I'm very excited.
Yeah, one of my friends is going to lend me the hard copies pretty soon. He's super into it. And another series that came back from hiatus is Noctera, which I was liking
Ooh,
that.
yeah.
I think
Oh yeah.
Blacktop Bill is one of my favorite villains. That's of the modern era. I think he's really cool. They're going to do some cool stuff with him. And
Those are some
Noctera,
nice 2 issues too that they came back with, the Blacktop Bill special and number 7.
I
Yep.
didn't even read that. So I'll be on the hunt for that as well. I just read the it's a new arc and a lot of math stuff, and even this writer understood the math references. So no, it was really enjoyable. So yeah, check out Noctera if you guys haven't yet.
Yeah, for sure. Noctera is awesome, and I know they were doing that promo thing where if your store ordered a certain amount of copies of the trade paperback, then they were giving out the trade paperback signed by Scott Snyder and Tony Daniels. So I know I got a copy because I was like, hell yeah, Scott Snyder.
That's all. If whichever store buys the most, they should block out the sun for the day, Mr. Burns style. Just to celebrate. I think that'd be
Jesus
pretty cool.
Christ. Well, we got to start getting Werewolf by Night for real. But yes, anyway, so much to look forward to. One thing I've been excited about to talk about is one of my favorite indies, which actually the sequel for it just got past FOC today. So this comic book by IDW called The Kill Lock, and it's done story and art by Livio Ramondelli, who actually some of the people in the Reading Black Discord will already be familiar with because he did a variant for Supermassive, and with lettering by Tom B. Long and editing by David Marriott. So this is an awesome story about four robots who are found guilty of irredeemable crimes, and they've been banished from their homes, and they're bound together by a program called the Kill Lock. And what happens basically is if one of them die, they all die. So now these soldiers, or sorry, these robots, they're from a universe where robots are pretty common. So there's a lot of different classes of robots, and here we have a soldier, an addict. An addict is a worker class, a murderer or labor class, a murderer, and I think the murderer is an artisan
Smart.
class.
Artisan.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're like
and
the
then
smart guys. They build stuff.
and then we have a child who's just a kid robot, and they find that they have to survive and work together in different ways, basically to stay alive. It's really, I think this is the kind of comic book where you literally just have to hand the book. You don't even have to like give someone the book. You could just send them the link to the Previews World uh page, and they could see the preview. Like they have a preview for the first 4 pages, and they'll just see the art, and you can see like in the first page of dialogue, there's a question. You meet the artisan for the first time, and he literally just looks at a labor class, and he's like, "Excuse," like this is the very first words of dialogue in the whole book, and he's just like, "Excuse me, but that is the most fucked up face I've ever seen."
Honestly, that was low key one of my favorite parts. Like literally, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, this looks cool. You told me about it. Let's check it out. And then boom, right after that line, I'm hooked.
Yeah, and he's just like, I what? And he's just like, your face, you didn't choose it, right? I mean, you couldn't have. And he's like, I'm a labor class, the rock mining division here. This is our standard design. And just like it continues from there. But I was sold on the book immediately from there. I was just like, wow, this is very creative. I really like the atmosphere within the book. It's pure sci-fi. We're just thrust into this world with robots, and you kind of just learn your way as you go. I really like the lettering throughout the book. I think the lettering for the Wraith was especially cool because it really sells you on his mission. Kind of reminded me of Ezreal back in the day. This like holy mission kind of that they're sworn to.
It's kind of like how Asgardians talk in Marvel too. They have their own lettering style. It's kind of like
Yep.
that, more bold and more powerful. It really lends to his lore.
Yeah, and one thing I really like about this book is the unpredictability of it. You read a lot of books these days, and I feel like in some ways the status quo of the book is something that you've seen before. And I think that's the beauty of creator-owned comics or indie comics is that you get these worlds or these stories or characters where you're not beholden to centuries or years and years of continuity or some sort of status quo. So here we see that like it's actually not very predictable. There's a lot of weird shit that happens in the story. Like you're just like, whoa, like really, like you wouldn't. It doesn't take you in directions that you would expect. It's actually very creative, and I really enjoyed that aspect of the story. Even towards the end, I was just like shocked by the ending in a good way. And now we're not going to spoil this because I think a lot of people really should check this out. It's worth taking a look at.
There's what I liked about it too is that, like you said, it's a whole different universe, but he does a great job explaining enough to let you understand what's going on without kind of laying everything out. And at the same time too, there's like some kind of slight commentary on social commentary on society, on class, but it's never the main focus or in your face, but you see those themes come up throughout the whole 6 issues.
Yeah, I think the dialogue is very. I like when the dialogue is realistic, and I feel like here the dialogue was very realistic. Like people talk like you know when you're reading a comic, and sometimes it's like Detective Comics, some issues can be like this, or some issues of Batman, or just like DC or Marvel in general, sometimes can be like this, where you're reading something, and it's like nobody ever talks like that in real life. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like nobody ever talks like that. Like like nobody ever says things like that. Like how, and it's not even like the words, it's just the manner of speech. Like nobody speaks like that in real life. There's like
Batman, here's some exposition.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So it's like you understand, there's liberties that you take creatively, but one thing I really like about the story is that the way that people talk is very realistic. It's very like organic. It kind of seems, even though they're robots, it seems realistic. It seems like this is how someone would speak to someone else in this situation. Like this is how they would react. There's emotion. There's just a lot of stakes, and there's a lot of swearing, like a lot of swearing, like surprising amount of swearing.
Definitely not for
for
young readers.
Yeah, I'd say like 16, 17 plus as suggested by that. Yeah. But no, it's an awesome series. The sequel called The Killlock, The Artisan Wraith, which if you've read the story, you'll understand the title. It's coming out very soon. I believe it releases March 9, 2022. So for those of us or those of others out there who enjoyed this story, there's more to come, and I'm very excited about that. This one seems even longer. It's a 7-issue miniseries, so I'm just very excited. And one thing to expand on what you said earlier is that not only is the writing good, but I feel like, and this being impressive, especially being from the same writer and artist, I feel like the robots, like the world is crafted in a way where it's very well developed to the point where there's a lot of uniqueness that is evident even just by like just through a quick read. Like it's not difficult to differentiate between the different types of robots because they're so well differentiated. Like the artisan looks a very particular way, acts a very particular way, has very unique tools at its disposal, while the wraith is, it's programmed a completely different way, serves a completely different function, and it's
their visual design helps you understand what their function within their society is too.
Yeah.
Like even without explaining it in words or dialogue or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, and some of the shots of the world are absolutely gorgeous. There's a contrast between some I'm assuming they're digitally colored and illustrated images, and some painted ones where you could see. It almost reminds me of Decorum in a way. So, my God, it's very honestly underrated comic book that doesn't get spoken about enough. So, if you haven't checked out The Killlock, by Livio Ramondelli, I highly recommend it. It's on Comixology Unlimited for those of you who've already asked, and just give it a chance. Speaking of, any other developments you want to talk about in comics this week? I mean, one thing I guess we'll dive into a little bit because we can talk about this for hours, but I don't really want to talk about this for hours because it's pretty funny. But what about fucking Tosin Oduye?
Oh my God!
Like what happened there? Like what did for those of you who are not aware, there's been some crazy murmur and hype and just movement in the market recently, in the comic book market, because last comic book
Was it last
Wednesday,
week? It feels longer than that.
I think it was last week. It might have been 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, whatever.
But yeah, there was Black Panther #3 in the new Black Panther run, which came out, and in this issue, there's a first appearance of a new character, a new hero, people are assuming, but no one knows for sure yet, named Tosin Oduye, but most everyone's just referring to him as Tosin, and he's just like this Wakandan renegade because he comes from these different factions in Wakanda, and this one's like less. Basically, they're very anti-technology, and they've been discarded by the larger. I guess they're kind of like on the peripheral of Wakandan societies,
Yeah,
and
they
they're
literally like
yeah
literally live outside the city without
yeah
technology, off the earth or whatever.
yeah
I think one of the key points too, they don't like the fact that like main Wakandians use vibranium to
vibranium
advance
yeah
technology. They more like worship it and try to understand it rather than
yeah.
Okay.
use it for science. Yeah.
Yeah, you feel like elements of like an Eastern versus Western perspective clash of
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
technology, and you see that it's almost like they have a more Eastern perspective on technology. They have a more spiritual and holistic perspective on something like vibranium, where they according to John Ridley, the writer himself, he wrote it as they refine vibranium and use it spiritually and within rituals to they even like you have vibranium tattoos on their body and they're like permanent. And these vibranium tattoos give them powers, give certain parts of them powers depending on the relationship with like the land and the vibranium itself. So it's very interesting, and you see that Tosin himself has powers. And yeah, this book blew up like crazy. I think cover A is selling right now for 50 to 60 US dollars, and the 125 I think hit a peak of 600 or 700, which is like
Insane.
like
It's
we're,
there's no words to
like,
describe it, man.
like
It's
there's a
crazy.
bleeding cool article out
What issue is it?
there. Black Panther number
Black Panther
three. Yeah.
3.
A
I might
bleeding
have that.
cool. Nice. Yeah, but
I,
bleeding cool out there put out an article comparing Tosin to Miles Morales, saying like this is the next Miles Morales. So that got collectors in a frenzy, and everybody was rushing out there to buy this book. And it's just interesting to see. It's been a while, I guess I'd say, to see people kind of frenzy for a book like this. I mean, really frenzy. When's the last time you saw a 125 comic go above $200, for example? Like maybe
Not
Robin
within a
King?
week of
Yeah,
release.
like within a few
Yeah.
days of release, like Robin King, maybe that's the last time I can think of that was like $200.
yeah, the Robin
Yeah,
King is what came to
yeah.
mind for me, and we all know he's an integral part of the tapestry of the DC universe.
Yeah, but it's interesting because people are already talking about how Black Panther #5. And speaking of people out there, put that on your pre-order list if you're interested in this whole situation story, because Black Panther #5 has a cover that looks to be somewhat homaging Ultimate Fallout #4, which is the first appearance of Miles Morales. And yeah, you never know. Is this guy gonna become the new leader of Wakanda? Are they gonna overthrow the current Wakandan government and assume control? What's gonna happen? It's interesting. I don't know. I
It's
read the yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying I read the first few issues after you suggested them, and I was interested in all the political aspects of the story. And when I say political, I don't mean real life politics. I just mean like Wakandan politics, like the issues that occur within Wakanda day to day, and how there's different factions basically fighting for power, and how they moved from a monarchy to a democracy recently. So all that stuff's kind of interesting to me, to see all these factions fighting for power and all these new characters, and just to see like this other side of T'Challa that I feel like hasn't been explored as much. This like dark strategist, like 4D chess kind of T'Challa, who almost like Batman kind of T'Challa. So it's really interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of what I wanted to say. It's a apart from the Tosin craze, it's a good read so far. The first 3 issues at least.
Yeah, I recommend the new Black Panther if you're a fan of Black Panther. I'm not a fan of Black Panther. I don't dislike Black Panther. I just never find myself buying Black Panther books. But I bought the first 3 issues of this run and I really enjoyed them. So I highly recommend.
Last I
And
read of Black Panther was that Killmonger run around the movie.
Yeah.
I like Killmonger's cool, and I like it. It's
this guy's a lot like Killmonger. This Tosin guy, like he's a lot
I'm
like
getting Killmonger vibes.
yeah. He sounds a lot. He's like when I was reading the issue, he seems like he's Killmonger. Like so, it's like we'll see how that goes.
I
Cool.
just think comparing him to Miles is a little extra right now. Like this
Oh,
guy's
yeah,
been
yeah.
out for a week. We
You
don't even
know,
know much
comic
about him.
book is everyone's
It's a
gonna
little crazy,
pump.
in my opinion.
Everyone's gonna pump it up. Got
They're not
to
even
pump it up.
they're not even at slurp
Ooh,
levels
pump
yet.
it up.
Yeah.
Got to pump it up. That's what they do, man.
Up the jam. But yeah. Can we talk Boba Fett? Can we
Yes.
open the Boba Fett book?
Yes, so Star Wars Book of Boba Fett, warning, we're gonna have some spoilers here. So if you're not caught up on the newest episode, I would stop listening because we're gonna talk spoilers anyway. Book of Boba Fett, I mean, we were really anticipating this series. I feel like everybody was. I don't think anybody out there wasn't anticipating this Book of Boba Fett series. Personally, I'm a little bit disappointed. I don't think it's bad. I just don't think it's great. I know a lot of people who know me, they know I don't like to retread old ground. Like I'm not interested in something that's inconsequential. Like if you're gonna show me how he got out of the Sarlacc pit, that's fine. Show me how he got out of the pit, but don't show me literally where he's gone from the pit to get to today. Because personally,
Tatooine's getting real old real soon. I'll say that.
Exactly. Man, we talked about this before several times. So we've talked about how rich the Star Wars universe is, how it's so big, how it's probably the biggest franchise in existence. Like honestly, if we're talking like yeah, like because like if we're talking
Pokemon's bigger, but yeah, Star Wars
no,
is
no,
up there. They're the big boys.
I'm talking like as a developed universe. Like if we think about like is Pokemon as well developed as Star Wars? Like there's so many planets in Star Wars with different sorts of beings and species and stories and
they've had an extra like 20
eras.
years on them or like 25 years or so. But yeah, you're right. It is definitely more well developed.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it's such a rich world. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like Pokemon in the sense that you could always make a new Pokemon game. Like you could always make a new Star Wars like book or a new Star Wars comic because there's just so much there. There's so like look. Can you think of anything other than Marvel or DC or Star Wars where you could literally just introduce any new character that will get people hyped? Because I can't like literally like if you were to think of the concept of spoiler alert of Cad Bane, right? If you were to think of something like Cad Bane, the concept is silly. He kind of looks like, like I don't know, like he looks silly. Like when you
he's
look
like an alien and a robot.
Yeah,
you take both. You
exactly.
take like droids and an alien, put it together. He's
Exactly.
cool.
He's like McCree kind of also, like the way he talks and the way he.
Who are you talking about? You mean Clayton Coleridge or whatever the.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I
censored myself. Some shit like that.
It's something Cole. It's like
Cole Cassidy. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so generic and shitty. Anyway.
I don't know.
Anyway.
McCree.
Anyways, yeah. Blizzard solved all their issues with that one. Way to go, Blizzard. Anyways.
No, he's just like your spaghetti western, like gun-toting, like cowboy assassin.
Because he fits in perfectly. Awesome. This is a western. Both of this. And Mandalorian and Boba Fett, you have a lot of western tropes, and now you're putting in with the Darksaber, you've got sword, you've got medieval connotations now, so it's nice. But anyways.
Yeah, and my point is that you've got so many characters in this Star Wars universe that you've even got a Western alien. Like that's my point is that there's so much to draw upon here. And
Ahsoka saying Thrawn's name last year got me like the biggest nerd chills. I don't even need to see him in live action, but I was like, oh yeah, baby. Like it was, it was a nerdgasm. Like I was pumped. Like Ahsoka's cool, and I love Rosario Dawson playing her, but just saying Thrawn, I'm like, yeah, we in this now. We up in this. Anyways.
Yeah, but Ahsoka's awesome, and to see her again this season is always a blast. I really enjoy her, and being in the show and as having.
That's a heel turn though. How are people going to be hyped for that when she kept Grogu and Mando away from each other? It was a really nice, touching way they did it and why they did it, but it's still like you came in between, like the biggest, like, not since Ellie and Joel have people cared about a parental bond like this, and it was super well done, but yeah, that's an interesting choice to have Ahsoka leading into her show.
And that's the thing. It's just like you look at Grogu and you see that's even what reinforces my point of like that's another character who's not even from the source material, who's a brand new character who came out, who people just love, who've grown to. He's just become a hit in every sense of the word. Products have been made of him. Everybody knows who Grogu or Baby Yoda is at this point. So yeah, like that's just the universe. The Star Wars universe is so rich, and I'm always excited to see the chatter and the hype. Like we saw Black Crescent in the season. We saw
he was awesome.
Mando.
I love him. We got some extra huts. When I saw the huts, I'm hyped. I'm always hyped for those stupid huts. I went and it's great. The huts are just the concept of how they get anywhere and have any power is just ridiculous to me, and I love it. And it was nice seeing that. And what's his name? What's the name of that Wookiee? Black
Crescent.
He was really cool. I found like he makes Chewbacca look like a high school stoner, and Black Kistan is like or whatever is like the jock there that just like spiked the football. Even though he got like his ass kicked, he's still badass. He's got the brass knucks. Like he's pissed off. It's like battle beast energy I've been missing until Invincible season 2.
Yeah, I honestly don't think they've done Black Crescent justice. Like I don't think he's done bad there or anything. I just think like compared to how he is in the
he'll be back for the war.
Yeah, like he fights Chewie, he fights like he works with Dr. Aphra several times. He fights Obi-Wan at some point. Like he's badass as hell, man. He's like really badass. Like
Well,
he can take a Boba, honestly. Like
he
it'd
might
be a
pop
good
up in the
fight.
Obi-Wan show since we're chilling on Tatooine for the rest of our lives here on
Yeah,
Disney Plus.
that's the speculation. We're like speculation that not only is he going to pop up on the Obi-Wan, but there's also a recently newly announced Obi-Wan comic from Marvel. It's coming out, I think, in May. So
Obi-Wan the milking continues or whatever. No, I don't know, but really,
yeah.
okay. I hope it's good. Everyone loves Obi-Wan, but yeah, no, he could maybe Black Year's End, like he could pope up even. Maybe he'll be like a new religious leader on Tatooine. Who knows? Anything can happen. But one thing, the aliens that have like the long tentacles or whatever, like for the like they have in the cantina and stuff, when they're like any color resembling human flesh color, they're creepy. They should be like yellow or like purple. That's my opinion, and it is fact. No, but yeah. One thing. What do you think of Luke's face? Did it look weird?
I thought it looked kind of weird, to be honest. I'm not like I thought it looked better than the Mandalorian, but it wasn't perfect. And I think they should just cast like Sebastian Stan or something and cut
They
their
should
losses.
get
Yeah.
Sebastian Stan, and the voice doesn't sound. It sounds tacked on to
That's
me.
what I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
Is it? I heard. I'm not sure, but I read that it's like an AI voice. It's not a voice actor.
Yeah. I don't think it's a voice actor. I think it's a AI, but I'm not 100% sure. They said that the whole like video was AI, that like Mark Hamill didn't come in.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
Did he
credited,
come in
but
for Mando? Did he come in
yeah,
for Mando?
yeah, he did.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Saw him do like behind the scenes stuff. I think they mapped it onto his face, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. But yeah, no, I thought that what they did with Grogu was nice in that. Like I liked that episode. That was the best one. The first couple episodes, 3 episodes are slow. Like I like what they did with the sand people and stuff like that. But
Man, I thought he
yeah,
was gonna get like a little helmet or some shit, and this dude got like a little male koi or like a little male like it's so stupid, man. It's like
it's
a
not
little
even. It's just
yeah.
like blue text. He's not even getting the purple, let alone the orange legendary stuff. You know, like he's getting like the little chainmail. But I love that choice where it's like, hey, do you want the sword? Do you want to be an attack
Well,
mode or defensive?
it's not just the sword. It's Yoda's like lightsaber.
Oh, that was
Like,
yeah, that's right. It was like mini. It was like the ones they use as like chopsticks on Futurama, which I like. But yeah, no, they've done it well. I mean, Grogu getting trained and stuff was more training than we've seen in other entries in the Star Wars series. It's so hilarious to me with the trilogy. We're like, we just don't have any source material to pull from. And then Favreau and Filoni are like, well, we do have Cad Bane, Ahsoka, like all these like characters that have been in the background that are finally getting fleshed out. Like people don't know who Thrawn is. My dad, I watched this with him. He's like, he didn't know anything about Ahsoka. I was like, yeah, that's Anakin's apprentice. He's like, what? Like, like people don't know this stuff, and they
yeah.
should really reinstate it.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before when we've said like we can't wait for others like Thrawn or other eras like the Old Republic or even me personally. I know a lot of people aren't
High
fans of
Council.
the High Republic, but
Oh yeah,
I really like the High Republic, so I think it's pretty cool. But yeah, I would obviously prefer the Old Republic. But even like there's been rumors of like a Knights of Ren series, and with the recent issues focusing on Crimson Reign, they've all been really good. Star Wars is in a really good place right now, and yeah, Book of Boba Fett was awesome. I'm just hearing murmur. A lot of people are like speculating as to whether we're gonna get another appearance or cameo in the season finale, which I believe is the next episode, right?
Might be
Yeah,
wrong.
I checked 1 episode left. I'm pretty sure according
Yeah.
to IMDb 7.
Yeah, so I'm hearing chatter. Some people think maybe we'll get a small cameo of Dr. Aphra. I really hope so. That would be awesome. But yeah,
Could see young Han, right? Or Darth Maul, right? Is Darth Maul is on the table, I think.
that would be awesome if Darth Maul showed up in the yeah. Honestly, anyone shows up. At this point, I'm pretty satisfied with the cameos and appearances we've gotten already. But if we get more, that'll be cool too. So
I'm hoping that people listen to this the day it comes out because it'll probably be like Wednesday, and then they can go home and see if we're right. But yeah, we're recording this before we've seen the finale.
it's all that
here.
matters.
That's
Just
our
go
thoughts,
home
yeah.
and find out whether we were right.
Yeah, that's what all that matters if you're right. That's it. Doesn't matter, nothing else. But yeah, no, production value is really good as usual. I think Favreau, Disney, whenever Jon Favreau says he wants to do something, they should just like, yes, please, and thank you for still working with us and not take because like other people would poach him. And Cowboy Dave there, he has such a love that the way he described the Duel of Fates made me actually give a shit about something in the prequels. Like when it was literally like how it's literally like a duel for the future of Anakin and of Darth Vader. Like if if Qui-Gon doesn't die there, who knows how the entire Star Wars saga as we know it is entirely different. So that is a very important fight that deserves the amazing orchestral score and everything. So Filoni actually, like, if I'm George Lucas too, I'm gonna have him on retainer. Like, I know George loves Filoni, but like I would pay him like $1 million a year just to keep, trying to polish what I put out that may have resembled something you would find on the ground. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah, that's quite a take, and sounds like you've been thinking about that one for a while. But no, that's for Filoni, he's the people's hero, of course. I mean, I know people talk about Marx, but they didn't know the Filoni was a man then. So yeah, Filoni is the people's man, and that's how it is. So
he's the mob, not the Mr. Pandaria, man, the people. But yeah.
yeah. No, and it's just been interesting to see that the complete life and final days of Obi-Wan Kenobi coming as Marvel comic series. Like, it's interesting that they're giving him that comic series. Just the complete life and final days sounds like a very autobiographical. Yeah, but it says it's an autobiography style comic. So written by Halt and Catch Fire creator. Oh, isn't that the Iron Man writer right now? I forgot his name, Christopher Campbell. Yeah. All right, interesting. Anyway, other things to be excited about coming in May or April. I mean,
we got Jurassic League there.
Yeah, Jurassic League by Daniel Warren Johnson, yeah. Of course.
He's doing the covers.
And he's writing it too.
He's doing the covers and writing it, and Juan Gideon is doing the art.
Yeah, and anything.
And he's writing it too. He's co-writing it as well.
Yeah, anything Daniel Warren Johnson, just take my money. I don't care if writing or art. Just take my money. It's Daniel Warren Johnson. If you haven't read Murder Falcon yet, you're missing out on
Beta Ray Bill
comics. Beta Ray Bill, yeah, of course. We already did that.
I know. I'm just saying, Daniel Warren Johnson, the catalog is mighty awesome at this point.
Fantastic. Yeah, check out Daniel Warren Johnson, one of the most prolific and exciting comic book creators out there right now. And speaking of, like, one of the things that's got me excited that's returning in I believe April or May. April. It's Batman Beyond. We're getting a Batman Beyond miniseries called Batman Beyond Neo Year, and it looks pretty sweet.
Yeah, I haven't looked into it, but any more Batman Beyond? Like, how there hasn't been a Batman Beyond movie yet? Like, that's what they should be making instead of Flashpoint to try to, un-Snyder this DCEU. Sorry, Snyder fan. But I think that Batman Beyond...
That's going to get us some hate.
I liked his Justice League. It's just be amazing if, before we give you your full driver's license, you didn't crash 3 vehicles. Anyways, it would be, I think that Batman Beyond, there's so much money in Batman Beyond where, like, anything you can think of for the future, like, even just now they 3D print Batarangs. That's something that, like, if they knew about 3D printing in the 2000s when they were making the TV show, you'd be doing that. Like, it's just, there's such cool stuff that you can do with Batman's tech, and then you've got Batman basically as, Obi-Wan and that stuff, just like telling Terry what to do. So there's so much money on the table. And as a comic series, like, yeah, I had it on my pull list for most of the run until it ended. So yeah, I'm super excited for Batman Beyond.
Yeah, same here. Like, that was a long run. I believe it was 50 issues, a great run. It was really sad it ended.
We showed a few years ago. We showed the outline of Batman's Wang. Now let's get Batman Behind with him as a caveman in the past. Can we get that,
dude? Please? You know what I found out? I found out that
this is a scary thing to go from what I just talked about.
Wait. I found out that there's a. So you know how there's Spider-Gwen?
Yeah.
There's like Penguin. And it's like Peter Porker, and it's like a penguin. I swear to God, yeah. No, it's like it's penguin, and it's like a penguin. You can Google it, just like Spider-Gwen penguin. I didn't know about this before, and it's just so
Does
funny.
She have a cigarette on a stick like Cobblepot, or just penguin?
No, it's called Penguin Stacy. But
okay. Gwen's name goes with everything. It's the Guile theme of names.
Yes,
like,
it's called Spider-Gwen. Spider-Gwen.
Yeah,
it's Spider-Gwen, but
God,
like Q-I-N. Yeah, it's pretty fucking
yeah. Penguin Stacy.
So yeah, you can have Gwen 10 if you want to connect with the kids. There's nothing.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
There's just I'm all for this, like, Marvel Spider-Verse, Spider-Verse, Gwenverse, whatever it's called. It's coming out. I'm all for that. I'm a big fan of Gwen. I like when they get silly. You never know if something fun could come out of this. But I was just genuinely surprised to see that there was a Penguin Stacy. Like,
my gosh, she has the Ghost Spider like get up on.
yeah.
That's amazing. No, do people call her Ghost Spider, or is it just Spider-Gwen? Like, it's Spider-Gwen.
I think now it's Ghost Spider. Now, like,
I know, like, officially, but like
Yeah, but like I personally, I think most people refer to her as Spider-Gwen. I think when she first came out, reading her first appearance, she was called Spider-Woman, but that conflicted with because she was in her own timeline. But when they brought her to the other timelines, that conflicted with the existing Spider-Womans like Julia Carpenter and all those. So they
I
changed her
think
name to Spider-Gwen.
from the movies too, at least like the mainstream audience will
It's
know
just
her as
because like Spider-Gwen doesn't work as a superhero name because everyone knows who you are.
No, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
So it's I think
yeah.
Ghost
No, you're
Spider
right.
makes sense given how she looks. I like the name Ghost Spider, but I just don't think it fits her because like even though the look makes sense, it just she's so like personality wise like very positive and the ghost has like a weird connotation to it, but I don't know. I guess maybe that's just me,
Should be
but
something with like dancing or like
yeah.
drumming or something or like
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
One thing,
Like the Mary Janes is the perfect name for their band. Hmm.
yeah. One thing I was thinking of, like in the Spider-Verse movie, they could easily, like, if they're popping in a bunch of different universes, there'd be be cool if they went to one with like all the Gwens, or like she saw all the other Gwens, and like they could do like
That's what the Gwenverse is about.
that's what I mean. Like, well,
Yeah, that's
that they're
literally
doing.
what it's about. Is that
Yeah, they could easily pop
she's
into that
gonna
and do a
go throughout
spin-off.
time, and they're gonna see. I think they said in the first issue that they're gonna encounter Thor Gwen, and on the cover there's a Captain Marvel Gwen.
Shouldn't it be
There's
like Thera Odin Gwen or something, or
yeah,
I don't
there's a
know.
lot of Gwens, like so many. I think they've already confirmed. Oh, there's a Wolverine Gwen. There's a Thor Gwen. There's a Captain Marvel Gwen. There's a Night
Gwen the
Gwen.
Land Shark? No,
Yeah, there's a Nightbird Gwen. So like if you remember the
I
Nightbird,
know the Night
yeah,
one.
the
Yeah.
Heroes Reborn, yeah, she's coming back for Gwenverse. So a lot of interesting. I've always been a fan of that Night Gwen character. I think that's one of the most like underrated characters in Marvel right now. Like if you read that one issue, it was basically a mix of Nightwing and Batgirl into Gwen. Like that's what it was, and it was like really cool. They gave her a really badass design, different take on the
DC's not
character.
going to give you Dick and Babs as a couple. Well, what are we making the same person? There you go.
I think she was a lesbian in this universe. So her girlfriend was Misty Knight, if I'm not mistaken, which is a really like I thought it was a really cool couple, like in that alternate universe timeline.
No, that's
But
dope. Has
yeah,
Misty
so
Knight ever dated Moon Knight? I feel like that would be,
no,
no.
but I remember an issue where of Moon Knight Run where he's like he tries to like get it on with Echo. So that was interesting.
Jeez. Oh,
Moon Knight and
jeez.
Echo?
Yeah, she was undercover as a stripper, and he like blows her cover, and she kind of gives him shit, and then like he like preemptively makes out with her, and she like bitch slaps him, and she was like to signify she wasn't like consenting to it, you know what I mean?
Jeez.
And then she
Jeez.
leaves him hanging because like he
Okay.
made an assumption.
Mark
Yeah,
Spector. What a dog.
exactly. Exactly. He
I haven't
can
s-
blame it on Conchu.
blame him, God, you.
Blame
It
it
was
on
I haven't
Conch
Conchu.
well.
I haven't seen the trailer yet for Moon Knight. I almost don't want to watch it because again, I'm watching it regardless. But I heard there's a couple jokes in there. It's like Moon Knight can be funny, but overall, it's like a crazy ass dude. Like
I
he's
thought like the trailer was good. I thought it was good. I'm excited for the show. I was
I'm
just like I wasn't super impressed with the costume. That's
yeah,
it.
it should be dark. It should be brighter.
Brighter and have more like one thing I think that the new series does so well and excuse me, shout out to I
Yeah.
feel like I just want to double check if his name is correct. I think it's Alessandro Capuccio, but I'm just gonna double check because it's important to give credit. Yes, Alessandro Capuccio, the artist of Moon Knight, the current Moon Knight run with Jed McKay. So shout out
It's
to
amazing.
Alessandro
The
Capuccio.
art,
Oh yeah,
so
fantastic. Check out the new Moon Knight run if you're not reading
7 issues
it.
in, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So the 7 issue just came out and it's getting reprinted, and then issue 8 I think is next week, and they already showed the preview this upcoming week, and they showed the preview that Hunter's Moon is taking over, covering for Moon Knight. So it looks freaking awesome. And if you don't know who Hunter's Moon is, check the series out because he's one of the most exciting new characters in Marvel, and he's Egyptian.
correct me if I'm wrong. Is that his first cover for number 8?
I want to say yes right now, but I'm not 100% sure. We can
Yeah,
confirm
because
that.
I'm not sure too. I didn't see all the covers.
No, he's on the cover of number 3, which is his first appearance. Yeah.
Oh, that's him on 3?
Yeah, because he's wearing the armor and everything.
And what's cool about 7 is a friend of the Radiant Blackverse, Federico Sabatini, did the
Sabatini, yeah.
penciling.
Yep. And I was gonna say, so back to my point, one thing Capuccio did amazing, and Sabatini also did well, like he noticed and continued the legacy, is that there is this like aura-esque thing about Moon Knight that when he's on a page or he walks, because the
Oh.
series is dark, the series is very dark, but when he
Well,
walks,
it's a
it's
midnight
like-
mission. It's not going to be
Yeah.
right. But yeah,
Yeah, like when he walks and he's wearing white and he's wearing the Mr. Knight getup, he kind of glows. Like
it
he
emits from him. You
actually,
can see.
yeah, it
Yeah,
emits. Yeah, he kind of like he has this like effect where he kind of glows. Like it gives him this like it's like when you see and you watch Batman animated series or you read a good Batman comic book and they draw him in the shadows shrouded where you could see his cape and his eyes and it gives him that really scary bat-like imagery. I think this does a similar sort of thing for Moon Knight, him being like this being that's come back from the dead, this like servant to an Egyptian god. Like it gives him this very strange esoteric like aura about him and you can
and
see
he's
it
like, I'm not here for
close.
superhero stuff. Like
Yeah,
I'm beyond this. This is something
yeah.
different than your normal costume to fair. Like I'm here for business, fist of Khonshu, my own mission. It's
Yeah,
great.
and he glows. It's just so cool. Like
It's almost like moonlight too. Like
yeah,
at night, the most of the light that's in the world, if there's no electricity, is from the moon. It's like he's emitting his own moonlight.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
glowing. He's literally glowing. Yeah, and it's just really cool.
He's
Like
like a pregnant woman got nothing on him. He's glowing and he's just freaking he's owning it. He's follow him on his, life.
there is no afterglow. There's just glow from Moon Knight. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Even no, the art is like there's a lot of pages. Like I haven't read a ton of old Moon Knight comics or previous ones, which I'm gonna get on it. But when he flies through, the way they have the cape, it's the arc, and
oh man, Bill Sienkiewicz's art on Moon Knight is some of the best. Like it's just iconic. Honestly, like that's just the word I could think
I
of when it
tweeted a
comes to
Jet talking about it on the Radiant Black podcast, which I probably shouldn't. I should do on my personal account, but I was like,
No, it's fine.
every page of this, I want to like hang up on my wall or something. Like it's amazing.
Yeah, no, it really is. The Moon Knight series is gorgeous. I think, like I was telling Eddie earlier, I think the only issue with the Moon Knight series, and this is my personal take on it, is that it's been a bit slow. It hasn't, like, it's been mostly in the same setting. They've just been either in his office or in the streets. They haven't really
Yeah.
gone past him beating up brutes yet. We haven't really progressed the story.
Yeah, so far there hasn't
Yeah.
been anything, any
But
larger
yeah,
plot
large
that's
story.
going on.
Yeah, exactly. There's no large plot. There's just like the vampires are getting beat. There's people in the neighborhood like fuckeries afoot, basically.
But the character work is so good in the writing, and
character
you're enjoying.
exactly.
You
Yeah,
see Moon
yeah,
Knight in therapy
yeah,
and stuff like that. You get it.
yeah, yeah,
You get to see him,
yeah.
and also like he's broken. He's lost a lot of shit. So some old people from his past come
I
by.
I, I find the best story to be him and Hunter's Moon. Like for me, that's the best part of the story is that whatever he's talking to Hunter's Moon or they're interacting to see like the juxtaposition between his take on what the Fist of Khonshu is and then Hunter's Moon take on what the Fist of Khonshu is. It's really interesting to see
Yeah, they're
how
like different servants of the same god, and
yeah,
how
it's like
they go
Manchurian
about it.
Candidate, but they've been brainwashed two different ways. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's really weird. Like it's just cool. And the one guy's just like, I'll fuck you up if you like try to do this, and the other guy's just like, but you're like technically my brother. So
Yeah,
it's just like a weird dynamic. Like yeah, and it's like I don't know, it's awesome. I also love that they could have just done the generic thing, really just invert color of Hunter's Moon, but they really put some effort into his costume design and made it look unique. I loved like the golden armor pieces. I love the black mask that like signifies the Hunter's Moon, which is more black than it is white. Everything about him looks really
It's
awesome.
also a full moon. I wonder if that'll ever have any significance moving forward. Though usually Moon Knight is like crescents, while Hunter's Moon is a full moon.
Could we throw in
Yeah,
like
of course.
discs at you that'll slice your head off? I assume like
That's
prayer
true, yeah.
discs. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a good point about the full moon. You never know. It's just it's a really cool series. And like Moon Knight, he's always like I'm not gonna say the word normie, but like the hardcore, like they love Moon Knight, know what's up. Like it's like people call him Marvel's Batman, but like
That's
there's
not accurate.
There's more to it than
There's
that.
so much more layers to him. Like in the very shallow sense, if we're just talking, yeah, he's a guy who's kind of crazy, dressed up as like a superhero
crime
at
at
night and
night.
fights crime. Like that's his comparison to Batman, sure. And he's good at martial arts, yeah, sure.
And the
But
batarangs and the moon and the night.
yeah, but they're so different. Like, yeah, they're both rich. There's also another comparison, but they're so different. They're so different. Like, there's so much more to Moon Knight than just the Batman comparison, and there's also so much more to Batman than just the Moon Knight comparison. So they're both very well developed heroes with very unique characteristics. And if you've been hesitant to check out a Moon Knight run because A, you don't know much about the character, or B, you just think he's this very shallow character, I highly recommend you check out the new Moon Knight series by Jed Mackay and Alessandro Capuccio. It's a perfect starting point for new readers, and it's just great in every way, really, and really just immersive.
I'll call him Marvel's Batman once he gets a Moonmobile.
He has
His mom
the
named Martha.
helicopter. with Frenchie. Yeah.
No. All right, no, yeah, we've gushed about Moon Knight. The trailer, I just hope it lives up to it. Oscar Isaac, he deserves a decent comic role after previous time stuck as Ivan
I
Ooze.
mean, Ethan Hawke is the villain too, so that's already two really big actors, and I don't think they had signed up for a shit show. So I'm intrigued to see what they're gonna bring to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but Book of Boba Fett, Moon Knight. Unfortunately, Matt still hasn't seen Peacemaker, and Ali, I don't think. Are you caught up
I'm
or
not
no?
caught up. I'm only on
Yeah.
episode 2.
I think
Slacking.
Peacemaker is honestly the best show on TV right now.
I
Like,
heard the
think
intro sucks.
no, the
No,
intro
I'm
is like one of the best intros
I know.
ever. Yeah. So if you haven't seen Peacemaker, I highly like. It's perfect. It's for me. It's perfect for me. It's everything that I want from a show like Peacemaker. I think one thing, and we probably already talked about this before, but one thing, I'm not gonna spoil any details because I really want these guys to check it out. It's really good. But one thing that really impressed me personally was I think Vigilante has a future. I think if they don't kill Vigilante off, and I'm not saying that because there is a chance to kill him off. For those of you who haven't seen it so far, there's no hints as to whether he'll die or not. But I'm just saying you never know with James Gunn. Motherfucker's crazy. So if Vigilante makes it through this show, I think he has a future in the DCU because Freddie Stroma just plays Vigilante amazingly. He doesn't play him anything like his comic book self. Like this is a very different take, a unique take on Vigilante, but it's perfect. It works for this segment of the DCEU that James Gunn has constructed. It's perfect. I've really enjoyed Freddie Stroma. I think one of the things I've noticed a lot amongst a chatter about Peacemaker is how amazing his performance has been, how so many people are so into Vigilante. So I've seen a lot of artwork get done about Vigilante, a lot of people buying Vigilante. It's been on some hot lists. There's just been just a lot of talk about Vigilante in general, and it's awesome because I've always been a big Vigilante fan. So that's awesome. Peacemaker, I mean, John Cena, I've honestly never seen him as good as this. Like, if you thought he was a good wrestler, he's an even better actor here. I can't believe I'm saying that, but his comedic timing is perfect. Like, there are so many scenes in the future episodes where, and even in the first ones, but like, there's so many scenes in future episodes that I've watched some episodes twice because of how good John Cena is. Just like his comedic timing is perfect. Some of the scenes are iconic. Like seriously, some of the scenes are embedded into my memory. I'll never forget them. There's one scene in the most recent episode where something happens on screen and the camera zooms into like John Cena's face and Vigilante's face in the way where they're just so surprised and he's looking at this John. He's just like, what the fuck? And it just like it's the perfect facial expression. Like he's just fantastic. I don't know. The man understood the role well, and he's delivering. And yeah, I mean, I'd love to see more Peacemaker. I really hope this show gets a season 2. I love everybody on the cast. Like seriously, every single person on the Peacemaker cast is given us such an awesome show. And I don't know, just 10 out of 10 for me, man. Seriously,
That's right.
awesome.
James. No one takes a wrestler and finds a better role for them than James Gunn. That's true. Like I'm hoping maybe The Rock one day his fledgling career will take off and he'll be in a good movie if James Gunn directs and writes it. But no, I'm not shitting on The Rock. Hey, if you can make a bunch of money doing shitty movies, I wouldn't turn that down myself. But no, I've watched John Cena as a wrestler, and big part of wrestling and being a big star is having that charisma on the mic and usually being funny in a lot of ways. And John Cena is hilarious, and that's why I always wonder why The Rock never got a role that could like fit the charisma of the Rock character. But yeah, it's nice to see because I love Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad is one of my favorite movies.
If you liked Suicide Squad, I think you'll like Peacemaker.
Oh yeah, no question.
Yeah.
I just don't have HBO Max
But
right now.
like Peacemaker is so good. I don't know. I was just blown away. Like I was surprised. I think it's on Crave too. So if you know someone who has Crave, you could do that. That 1 week sign up bullshit.
I might have to snag a free trial, but no.
Wait for it to finish and then binge it all in a week.
Might have to. It's like 6 episodes, right? Total?
Yeah, it's 8 total, and it's 6 out so far.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, definitely. I just haven't watched it, and that's when you want to get the whole family together, right? Watch it, little cousins, the sons and daughters.
It's a good family show if everyone's an adult, but it's very R-rated. There's a lot of like swearing, some imagery.
It's James Gunn. When James Gunn doesn't have the Disney shackles on.
Dude, that scene. Have you seen? There's a scene like where there's a briefing, and then there's like, oh my, I don't want to spoil it, but my God, it's just so funny. Like it's just like so. He described it as a workplace comedy, and at first I was like, I thought he was exaggerating.
I can see that.
It is a workplace comedy.
I can
It like
see
really is.
that.
It's a genuine workplace comedy. And one thing he said that surprised me, I think, I don't know if James Gunn said this, but I read this in an interview somewhere that Jennifer Holland, his wife, who plays Emilia Harcourt, which is one of the main characters and badass characters of the show, I heard that she's gonna be in the Shazam, or sorry, in the Black Adam movie. So it's
Oh, okay.
interesting. It's interesting to see some connectivity, um, across.
Maybe she'll be in Shazam too with the other kids that'll be through finished college by the time that movie comes out too. So that'd be cool.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
but that's
excited for
cool.
Shazam 2 as well, man. I'm really excited for that.
I love Shazam,
Yeah,
the first
yeah,
one.
Shazam first one was great. Yeah,
It's what superhero movies. I'm not gonna say what they should be, but like as a kid, like I'm happy that they exist. I would be happy they existed. It had that kind of like sincerity of a Spider-Man, like the Raimi Spider-Man movies, where it's like, yeah, these are the kind of the special things and like the earnestness and like a kind of coming of age tale, and then returning to your kid self and then coming of age again when you say Shazam. But no, it's really fun. I highly recommend Shazam to anyone that didn't see it. But if you're listening to this, you've probably seen Shazam. It's great.
yeah, and just to, I think this has been a good episode. We covered a lot, but just to end here, we're going to talk about some developments in the Reading Black community. First of all, the new solicits for April have come out and this was a week ago for Image Comics, and we got Reading Black issue 14 covers. As we mentioned earlier, Reading Black issue 14 cover A is this gorgeous Marcelo Costa cover that is homaging the Incredible Hulk, covered by Todd McFarlane, I believe. Incredible Hulk number 340. So it's a homage of Incredible Hulk number 340. If you're a comic book collector who's been collecting comics for a while, you know exactly what that cover is. It's iconic. It's that cover where Wolverine is on, pointing his
Reflected in the
claws. Yeah,
claws.
yeah, reflected in the
Hulk's
claws.
reflected
Yeah,
in the claws. Yeah,
yeah, and
it's
Hulk's
cool.
reflected. Yeah, it's amazing. And we finally get the cover, right? The Sabatini, the 125, man. We
Yes.
finally getting it.
Yeah, we've
Yeah,
been
I
I'm
was
waiting.
wondering when that would finally appear.
I'm hyped, man,
It's
because that's an awesome cover for
it's a really
125.
special cover to me,
Yeah,
to us on the podcast, because it was the one that we got to reveal to the world. People were super cool about that. I hope that becomes a poster one day, but if not, I'm definitely gonna frame an issue and put it on my wall because, I'm in love with it. It's been in my phone background for several months now, and I look at it every day, and it's never gotten old. It only gets more awesome.
yeah, no, seriously, and I'm very excited. I'm gonna have to grab my hands on one or two, maybe hang one on the wall for display. But yeah, no, we got an awesome cover C 125 by Sabatini, the cover that we got to show off earlier on that was gifted to us as Radiant Black artwork for the podcast, which we appreciate. And then
And cover B is really
yeah,
rad in its own right.
oh yeah, and it's of course by another Matt. Matt Griffin did cover B,
Represent.
so yeah, Legion of Matts, yeah, and yeah, so that Matt Griffin cover B is awesome. I see a lot of hype and chatter about it on Twitter. A lot of people were impressed with that cover, and Radiant Black just continuing the streak with the epic covers. It's almost like this is what you come to expect from the series. It always delivers when it comes to fantastic. Um,
It's almost like three guys gush about how amazing the covers are every issue, and they've never been proven had any reason to say otherwise because they've all been awesome. This one's got like mystic vibes, the way he's holding the radiant. It kind of reminds me of like
yeah,
something Doctor Strange would do or something like that. And like the sparks coming off of him, it's almost like those like things you'd see at the Discovery Center, and you put your hand on. They have like the sparks that go towards your finger. Like I like it. The legs weird. It's like a really realistic render of Radiant Black too. Like the way it's drawn with like the lack of like a bunch of line work. I really dig this one.
yeah. No, it's gorgeous. Really, really well done cover. The effects are beautiful. And yeah, anyway, we just wanted to conclude this episode with a few announcements for the podcast. First of all, we want to say a heartfelt and sincere thank you to everyone who's part of the Radiant Black Discord. The Radiant Black Discord has been, just the community we've been trying to
Foster.
foster, facilitate, grow, and just be a part of since we put together this whole podcast. And it's been such an amazing part of being part of this community and getting to know everyone. And we just want to say a special thank you to some of the people who, are part of the everyday. People like, our amazing moderators. We got Marty Stokes, Matt Martin, the one and only amazing moderator is always there to help everybody. Everyone knows who he is. We got Rajola. Everyone knows who he is too. He's been extremely useful and always on top of things. And then beyond the and Matt, of course, and beyond the moderators, we've got some of the members here who've been active with us every day, who've been always contributing to discussions. We've got Kelvin. We've got. All right, sorry. There's just so many messages. We've got Septic Knave. We've got Marty, obviously. JDS10. Some guy named Joe. Aaron F17. Melanie.
I'm gonna play the
G.
Oscar music pretty soon. No, I'm just kidding.
Or the graduation music. Both work. Yeah, exactly. Soupman, Pranger, some recent people who joined, and just these are the people who are active with us every day. So we just wanted to give a special shout out to those. Also, special shout out to Erin Fraser, who just got the first giveaway reward from the Radiant Black podcast. So congratulations again. I hope you enjoyed it. She told me she was very pleased. So I'm very happy. But yeah,
I heard that she hated it. It's like, oh, Radiant Black. I thought this was the the Firepower server. I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, and of course we won't forget Anomaly 616, Captain Clavicle. Who else have we got here to think? There's just so many people. Snakebite. All you guys. Dave Downsky. We see all you guys active folks. Destructionaut. You guys are super awesome.
And if any of you guys do anything bad in the future, we officially disavow right now.
Yeah. And last but not least, Masterverse Central. So yeah, shout out to everybody. Thank you guys for being part of this amusing community. Thank you for always being active, talking about Radiant Black, the Masterverse, Rogue Sun, Supermassive, whatever it is. We always enjoy your discussions. And we're just going to conclude by saying we're going to celebrate the 1-year anniversary of Radiant Black with a Radiant Black trivia night and a Radiant Black tier list on February 11th, Friday, February 11th at 9 p.m. Eastern. So what we're going to do is we're going to go live with video. We're going to create a tier list together with the community. We're going to discuss it as a community, just talk, have a good time. Tier list basically like S, A, B, C, D, E, and just rank all the current Radiant Black characters in terms of which ones are our favorites, which ones have good power sets, all that good stuff, that nerdy stuff we love to talk about. And then after we do the tier list, which we'll celebrate and record and put in the Discord, we'll put the completed list in the Discord and share it with everyone, and we'll probably upload the video if we can to YouTube at some point. After we create the tier list, we're going to do a live Radiant Black trivia night, which shouldn't be too long. We're doing 30 to 40 minutes. Play maybe even less. We'll play a game of Radiant Black trivia. We've already discussed most of the rules in the Discord, so if you're not in the Discord, check it out. I'll put the link in the Radiant Black podcast channel on Podbean and on the episode description. You easily find your way. It's open to everybody. And so just play the game. Every single question is going to be about Radiant Black. Maybe 1 or 2 questions will be about the Discord, but we're trying to keep it mostly Radiant Black. So all you have to have known is to read the comic, basically. And if you win, there's a chance that there's a chance for a prize. If you win, you get a Radiant Black #1 Aaron Bartling variant. It's a pretty cool variant. It's an exclusive variant, so it's not exactly like not everyone got one.
So I'll be playing as well because I really want to win that. So yeah,
I mean, we got bonus Basuto. We got Michael asking if he could play. So if we got Michael playing, I'd say it's only fair game.
Jesus, I didn't know that, and I think he knows a thing or two about Radiant Black, so it might be hard to beat it.
This is going to be a true test of his knowledge.
Oh, yeah. So everyone...
He'll be trolling. Like, that's the character we kill in issue 13 or something like that. You know that's coming.
That may or may not be the character we killed in issue 13. I'm just like, yeah. But no, guys, thank you for everything for our first year of Radiant Black. Thank you to you guys for joining me, creating this podcast. It's been so much fun covering Radiant Black, and we're always looking forward to year 2. Obviously, Wednesday's going to be a big day because it's the first episode. It's the first issue of 2022, man. I feel like it's been ages. Like, the last issue we got was December 2022. It was before Christmas.
Yeah, and it was almost like it came out quick because the issue before was delayed, so it was like a 3-week wait, and now this one was the larger wait. But luckily, we had the Supermassive interview to really break things up for us. But yeah, I'm craving a new issue, and I'm happy to get our first issue of 2022 for year 2.
Yeah, and anyway, so yeah, if you haven't, that's actually a good thing you brought that up. If you haven't checked out the Supermassive interview we did with Michael Basuto, Kyle Higgins, Ryan Parrott, and Matt Groom, check it out. Awesome interview with all the creators of the titles, Rogue Sun, Supermassive, Radiant Black. We've got all the writers themselves. And so thank you everyone for joining us. Any last things you guys want to add before we call it?
No. Thanks for listening, and really hyped on year 2. I can't wait to see what else they're gonna blow our minds with.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
just thanks. I just wanted to thank everybody in the Discord. Thank you guys for doing the podcast, and thanks to all the listeners. And let's keep it going for year 2. I'm excited.
Yeah, thanks. And yeah, year 2, man. The hype is unreal. Excel's coming, Shear's coming. We've got a whole Radiant Rogues. I mean, Radiant Rogues, that's brilliant. I don't know about that, but that's just fucking brilliant.
We got a spin-off. We got Radiant Red popping off soon, too.
Yes. Image, right? Image, like number 1 with Radiant Black on the cover. That's huge. And then we've got the return of Firepower. There's just so much to look forward to right now in comics in 2022, and that's just indie comics. And last but not least, just promise the last thing. We are also doing another giveaway for those of you who are interested in, just being more involved in the community and just getting some prizes. Stay tuned on the podcast. Once we hit 400 followers on Twitter and 325 followers on Instagram, whichever one first, it doesn't matter, but preferably 400 followers on Twitter. We're gonna give away Radiant Black Volume 2 trade paperback, which collects issues number 7 to 12. So if you want a chance at getting Radiant Black Volume 2, all you got to do is follow us on Twitter and just send us a message in the inbox of who your favorite Radiant is, just like the first giveaway. Your favorite Radiant is, Radiant Pink, just say Radiant Pink and you're in. That's it. Simple as that. Anyways, thank you everyone for joining us. Have a great time. Stay radiant.